When I was a baby, my parents brought me home. They were not my real parents, but they loved me like their own child. They gave me food, clothes, and a warm bed to sleep in. They held me in their arms when I cried. They smiled at me when I laughed. To me, they were my real family. I did not know any other life. I was happy and safe with them. Our house was small but full of love. It had a big garden with flowers and trees. My father took care of the plants every morning. My mother baked sweet cakes in the kitchen. We ate meals together at the table. We talked, we laughed, and we shared our day. At night, my parents told me bedtime stories. I fell asleep feeling warm and loved. As a child, I never thought about my real parents. I was busy playing in the garden and running in the sun. I had toys and books to keep me happy. My father taught me how to ride a bike. My mother taught me how to bake cookies. They were always there for me. I did not feel different from other children. My life was simple and full of joy. One evening when I was older, I asked my parents a question. I wanted to know where I came from. My mother looked at me with soft eyes. My father took a deep breath before speaking. They told me the truth. I was adopted when I was a baby. My real parents could not take care of me. They gave me away to a family who could. I listened carefully to their words. I did not feel sad or angry. I knew my parents loved me. They raised me, cared for me, and gave me a good life. That was all that mattered to me. I smiled at them and said, "You are my real parents." My mother hugged me tight. My father patted my shoulder. We were happy together. As the years passed, I grew up. I went to school and made new friends. I learned to read, write, and play sports. My parents helped me with my homework. They cheered for me at my school events. On my birthdays, they took pictures and sang songs. My childhood was full of love and laughter. I never thought about my real parents again. I did not feel the need to know them. I had a family who loved me. They gave me everything I needed. I was happy with my life. I was happy with them. I believed nothing would ever change. But I was wrong. One day, something happened that I never expected. It was a normal afternoon when everything changed. I was sitting in the living room, reading a book. My mother was in the kitchen, cooking dinner. My father was outside, watering the garden. The house was quiet and peaceful. Then the doorbell rang. It was not a usual sound in our home. We did not have many visitors. I looked at my mother. She wiped her hands and walked to the door. When she opened it, two people were standing outside. They were a man and a woman. They looked nervous, but serious. My mother did not speak at first. She just stared at them. My father came inside when he heard voices. He stood beside my mother, his face calm but curious. The man at the door cleared his throat. He looked at me, then back at my parents. Then he spoke. "We are his real parents," the man said. His voice was quiet but firm. My heart started beating faster. I did not understand. I already had parents. They were standing right in front of me. My mother held the door tightly. My father crossed his arms. The woman next to the man had tears in her eyes. She looked at me like she knew me, but I did not know her. My mother finally spoke. Her voice was soft but strong. "He is our son," she said. She was not angry, but she was firm. My father nodded beside her. The man shook his head. "We made a mistake," he said. "We want him back." The room felt smaller. The air felt heavier. I gripped the edge of my chair. My parents stood tall, protecting me. I did not move. I did not speak. My mind was full of questions. These people said they were my real parents. But what did that mean? My real parents were the ones who raised me. They were the ones who loved me. I looked at my mother. Her hands were shaking. I looked at my father. His eyes were serious. They were afraid. I had never seen them like this before. The woman stepped forward. "We did not want to give you away," she said. Her voice was full of emotion. "We had no choice." She wiped her tears. "But now we are ready. We want to take you home." Home. I was already home. I had lived in this house my whole life. I had eaten dinner at this table, played in this garden, and slept in this bed. How could they take me away? I took a deep breath. My heart was loud in my ears. I needed to say something, but I did not know what to say. My parents were still standing by the door. The two strangers were waiting for my answer. The world felt different now. Everything I knew was changing. I wanted to run. I wanted to hide. But I had to face them. Finally, I opened my mouth to speak. I looked at the two strangers standing at the door. My hands felt cold. My legs felt weak. I wanted to speak, but no words came out. My mother and father were still standing in front of me. Their faces were calm, but I could see the worry in their eyes. The man and woman outside waited for me to say something. But what could I say? I had never met them before. They were nothing but strangers to me. The woman took another step forward. Her eyes were full of tears. "We love you," she said. Her voice was shaking. "We have always loved you." My chest felt tight. If they loved me, why did they give me away? Why did they wait so many years to come back? My parents had loved me every single day of my life. They never left me. They never gave me away. My father finally spoke. His voice was deep and steady. "He is our son," he said again. He looked at the man and woman with serious eyes. "We raised him. We gave him a home. We gave him love." My mother nodded beside him. She held her hands together, pressing them against her chest. She looked at me. "You do not have to go," she said softly. "You are our child." The man at the door sighed. He ran a hand through his hair. He looked frustrated, but not angry. "We thought we were doing the right thing," he said. His voice was full of regret. "We were young. We had no money. We had no home." He looked down at the ground. "But we never forgot you. We always thought about you." The woman wiped her eyes again. "We just want a chance," she whispered. A part of me wanted to believe them. A part of me wanted to understand. But another part of me felt afraid. My life was good. My life was full of love. I had never needed anyone else. Why were they here now? What did they want from me? I took a deep breath. I needed time to think. I needed time to understand. Everything was happening too fast. The room was silent. No one moved. No one spoke. I looked at my parents. I looked at the two strangers. My heart was beating too fast. My mind was full of questions. I did not know what to do. My parents had always been there for me, but these people said they were my family too. How could I have two families? How could I choose between them? The man and woman did not leave. They stood at the door, waiting. My mother and father did not move. They stood firm, protecting me. The house felt different now. The air was heavy. The walls felt smaller. Everything felt strange. I wanted to close my eyes and make it all go away. But I knew this was real. I knew this moment would change everything. I looked at the woman again. Her face was full of hope. The man beside her looked nervous but determined. I took a step forward. My parents turned to me. Their faces full of love. I needed to make a choice. I needed to find the right words. I opened my mouth and finally I spoke. I need time to think. The room was silent after I spoke. My words hung in the air. I saw the relief on my mother's face. My father gave me a small nod. The two strangers at the door looked at each other. They seemed surprised, but they did not argue. The woman wiped her eyes again. The man let out a slow breath. They were waiting for more, but I had nothing else to say. My heart was too heavy. My mind was too full. The man took a step forward. His hands were shaking. "We understand," he said. His voice was soft but firm. "This is not easy." The woman beside him nodded. "We don't want to rush you," she said. "We just want a chance." Her voice was filled with hope. I could see the pain in her eyes. I could see how much this moment meant to her. But I still did not know what to feel. My father crossed his arms. His face was calm, but I could see the worry in his eyes. "He needs time," he said firmly. He looked at the man and woman with steady eyes. "You cannot just walk in and change his life." My mother stepped closer to me. She placed a hand on my shoulder. "We have loved him for years," she said softly. "He is our son." Her voice was full of emotion. "We only want to know him." The woman wiped her face again. "Maybe we can meet again," she said. Her voice was full of hope. "Maybe we can talk sometime." I did not know what to say. My heart felt pulled in two directions. My parents were my home. But these people, were they a part of me too? I looked at my parents. They were my family. They had always been my family. I did not want to hurt them. I did not want them to feel like they were losing me. But I also saw something in the eyes of the strangers. They were not trying to take me away. They were not forcing me. They just wanted a chance to be in my life. I wished everything could go back to the way it was. But deep inside, I knew things had already changed. I wished everything could go back to the way it was. But deep inside, I knew things had already changed. No matter what I chose, life would never be the same again. No matter what I chose, life would never be the same again. I looked down at my hands. My fingers were curled into fists. I slowly opened them and took a deep breath. The man and woman waited. My parents stood beside me, strong and loving as always. I felt like I was standing between two worlds. One was my past, a past I never knew. The other was my present, the only life I had ever loved. My heart ached. I wanted to make everyone happy, but I did not know how. Finally, I looked up. My voice was quiet but steady. "Maybe we can talk," I said. The woman smiled, her eyes shining with tears. The man let out a small breath of relief. My parents said nothing, but I could feel their love around me. I had taken a step forward, but I still did not know where this path would lead. The man and woman smiled when they heard my words. Their faces were full of hope. The woman placed a hand on her chest as if she could not believe it. The man nodded slowly. "Thank you," he said. His voice was full of emotion. My parents stood beside me, silent but strong. I could feel their love, even as everything around me felt uncertain. My heart was still heavy, but I had made my decision. We agreed to meet again, not as a family, but as people trying to understand each other. The man and woman did not ask for more. They did not push me. They only wanted to talk. My parents did not stop me. They did not tell me what to do. They only reminded me that they loved me. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. My whole life I thought I knew. My story. Now I was not so sure. The next weekend, we met at a small cafe in town. My parents came with me. They sat at a table nearby, watching but not interfering. The man and woman sat across from me. They looked nervous, but happy. I felt strange, sitting with them like this. They were supposed to be my parents, but they were also strangers. I did not know how to feel. I did not know what to say. The woman spoke first. She told me about the past. She told me how they had struggled, how they had made the hardest decision of their lives. Her eyes were full of tears, but she did not cry. The man added a few words, his voice quiet and full of regret. They were not asking for my love. They were not asking me to leave my family. They just wanted me to know the truth. I listened, but I still felt distant. Their words were sad, but they did not change my life. My life was with my parents, the ones who raised me, the ones who loved me every day. But I also felt something new, something I did not understand, that I was connected to these people in a way I could not explain. Even if I did not need them, a part of me wanted to know them. When the conversation ended, we stood up. The woman looked at me with hopeful eyes. The man gave me a small smile. "Maybe we can meet again," he said. I did not know what to say, so I just nodded. As I walked away with my parents, I felt their warmth beside me. No matter what happened next, one thing was clear. I already had a family, and I was never going to leave them. Days passed after our meeting, but my heart still felt heavy. I had met the people who gave me life, but my love belonged to the parents who raised me. My mother and father never asked how I felt. They did not pressure me to talk. They only stayed by my side, just as they always had. Their quiet support meant everything to me. I knew that no matter what I chose, their love would never change. The man and woman did not call often. They did not try to take more than I was ready to give. But when we did talk, I could hear their hope. They wanted to be part of my life, even in a small way. I still did not know how I felt about them. I was not angry, but I was not ready to love them either. My heart was torn between the past I never knew and the present I never wanted to change. One evening, as I sat outside watching the sunset, my father joined me. He did not say much at first. He simply sat beside me, letting the silence speak. Then, in his calm voice, he said, "Family is not about blood. It's about love." His words were simple, but they touched something deep inside me. I looked at him, the man who had always been there for me, and I knew the truth. He was my real father. My mother was my real mother. Nothing could ever change that. The next day, I made my choice. I met the man and woman one last time. I thanked them for finding me, for telling me their story, and for giving me life. But I also told them that my heart already belonged to the family who raised me. They nodded, understanding my decision. As we said goodbye, I felt no sadness, only peace. I had found my true family long ago, and I would never let them go. I hope this session was helpful. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more such interesting stories. Take care, everyone.